Welcome to the Pocatello Business Podcast, the only Pocatello podcast focused on providing profits for Pocatello people. If you love our town and love small business, you are in the right place. We interview local legends, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You're listening to the Pocatello Business Podcast with your friend, host, all-around great guy, and owner of New Clean Commercial Cleaning, Spencer Ward.
All right, people. We're sharing one mic today. That's my fault. I forgot my auxiliary cord, but blame me. It's not a big deal. So we'll be doing this. I'm here today with Dane Simmons, the man, the myth, the legend behind Simmons Surgical. Dane, tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe some hobbies, maybe about your family a little bit.
All right, Spencer. So first of all, I don't know about the myth or the legend, but I am the man, Dane Simmons. So a little bit about my hobbies. I love to golf. I like spending time with my family. And when I'm not working, I'm usually building other businesses and remodeling historic properties. That's what I like to do.
It's a pretty fun hobby. Cool. I like it. And I'm sure everyone's wondering right now, because we're here to talk about business. It's a Pocatello Business Podcast. How did you get your start?
So, the mic. So my start was a little bit unique. After going to graduate school, I wanted to get into athletic administration. And after applying in athletics, I realized that wasn't going to be an industry where I was going to make a fortune. So I started doing some intel and figured that, medical sales reps had a decent living. And so I came up with a 5-year plan when I was in grad school to get into medical sales. And so that's where it kind of started. And then I started applying for jobs, and because I didn't have any sales experience nor medical sales background, I couldn't get a job. And so I started, about 6 months after that, I got an entry-level job selling oxygen and CPAP machines for Praxair Healthcare Services. So that's where I got my start. And then that kind of turned into bigger and better things later on in life.
I like it. So it doesn't happen just overnight. You didn't just say, I'm starting my business. It's gonna go great.
No, it actually, so the way I got started on the surgery side is I started reaching out to smaller manufacturers and said, hey, I'm Dane Simmons. I'm in Pocatello, Idaho. Do you have any sales in Idaho? And they said, absolutely not, sir. I was like, well, give me a contract. You have nothing to lose. Let's see what happens, right? That's what it is. So companies start sending me contracts. Here you go, have at it, right? And that have at it turned into, $3 million in sales year over year after 10 years, So we've done, well over 15 million in sales since I've started my distributorship, Simmons Surgical. And we are cranking. That's awesome. But it took a lot of hard work. I did a lot of work myself in the trenches, sure. Being a sales rep, going out, knocking on doors, very much like a door-to-door salesman, but with surgical implants.
You gotta earn that trust.
And then once I started to get off the ground with myself, I started to bring on more talent, and that's where, the dream started to build.
I like it. So what's one thing where you're at now you wish you would have known when you first started?
Well, if I knew what I know now, I probably wouldn't even went to college. Seriously, man, I would have skipped all that. But knowing what I know now is that I have a lot more patience now. And sometimes it takes a year or more to close a deal. And when I was younger, I was very impatient. I wanted it to happen yesterday, and that's not how you build quality relationships, right? And so it's just, you gotta hustle, you gotta have grit, you gotta have know-how, you gotta be very knowledgeable regardless of what industry you're in. And so I really had to get into the books when it came to surgical sales because not only did I need to know biomechanics and engineering of the products, I needed to know anatomy to actually talk to you're talking to very intelligent individuals that have very high egos. That's right? You know what I mean? So they're gonna call me out like day one. And so if I can't sell anatomy, if I can't sell biomechanics and engineering, then I have no place in surgical sales. So I really had to learn my stuff. And so that's kind of where it started.
I like that, because anything you do, whatever company you go to start, that's what's 101. You need to know the acronyms. You need to know how to speak their language.
Absolutely.
Or you will be a fool in front of them.
That's true.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
So here's a little switch gears here. What are some of the common myths about your type of business?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of myths about surgery in general, right? Surgery in general is a very scary place, right? Yep. You think it's like, I don't want to have surgery. I don't want to get an infection. I don't want to have surgery. Because you always kind of correlate it to the movie scenes of some bad happening, right? But the reality, and so my wife loves Grey's Anatomy, by the way.
Mine too.
And I can barely watch it because a lot of the stuff is like, that's not even realistic, because I'm actually in the operating room. However, what I will say is the operating room is a very fun place. You know, the surgeon usually has their top playlist of their favorite artists on, and we're grooving, having a good time. And yeah, at times it gets serious, but more often than not, it's a very relaxing, very therapeutic place. Yeah, it's really cool. And a lot of people don't have that perception of what the surgery. So it's a myth that it's a scary, daunting place, and it's not. It's not.
I like that. Well, cool. So you got to know your stuff. You got to know your acronyms. You got to know, you got to know your common myths of your business, because you got to find ways to overcome those myths for those that are out there that you're trying to sell to, and or trying to get in the business to help you and to help you grow. What are some specific roadblocks to watch out for? Just, you can say something maybe within your company that you had to deal with, or maybe just as starting a business in general for Pocatello. Do you have any advice there?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be roadblocks with any business, right? And so my area of expertise would be in sales, right? And you're always going to have a roadblock, because you're always going to try to get that consumer acquisition of how do you convert this person from using what they already are using or what they already love? How are you going to convert them? Or how are you going to get this person that knows nothing about what you do, right? And it doesn't matter what business you're in, everybody's in the same situation. Because if you don't have sales, you don't have a business. Okay? That's what it comes down to. And so
you can't cut your way to profits, right?
No, you can't cut your way to profit. Well, I mean, you can if you're a big enough company.
It's
and
true. Starting up.
Yeah, exactly. So you really have to lay the groundwork to build a strong sales and revenue foundation. And there's all types of roadblocks that come with that. And if you can't figure that out, then you can never be profitable, and then you can never really have a profitable business, right? So those are the roadblocks that I kind of specialize in, regardless if it's surgical sales or helping a startup company. That's the kind of stuff I like to take on, to how do we get through those roadblocks, And so my advice to any startup company is figure out your sales and revenue before you even open the doors, right? Don't bank on people coming in.
No.
Do focus groups, do questionnaires, figure out the data, and then go from there before you even make an investment.
I like that. Only thing I would add additional to that, which I concur with everything you said, was, on top of sales and doing everything you need to do in that realm, find ways to add value to your potential customers. Yeah. Because as you add value to them and to their lives, then you're not looking like that cheesy, slick salesman that's just trying to get in there for a quick buck. You're actually trying to help better their life, make their lives easier, and adding value.
Gotcha. So you definitely want to add value, but if you want to even make it a little more simplistic than adding value, just be the problem solver. Be the problem solver. Ask a question. So, client, what problems are you having right now? They'll blab off exactly the problems they have. Okay, these are the service, these are the products we have that can help you. That's what people want to hear.
That's right.
And that's how you bring value to somebody without selling them the whole bag of solutions they don't even need, right?
I like this. Let's talk about finding pain a little bit in sales. Because sometimes you'll ask them a question. In my industry, it'll be like, because I'm janitorial, hey, my desk is just looking horrible. You guys got to get this clean. This is bad. Okay. So that's a pain maybe to an outsider's perspective, but then you ask the question, why is that important to you? Yeah. Well, maybe my boss is breathing down my neck every time I come by my desk, and it's disgusting, and he sees my customers coming in. Then you're getting to the pain.
Absolutely.
You're afraid of your customers and what they're thinking and what your boss is thinking about you. Now you found their pain. Now you know how to go at them and approach that situation. Yeah, I like that. I love it. So it's all, pain, find that pain. And you build a successful company, and I'm sure you're a master of finding pain. So it's important to know that. You're selling surgical, so there is some pain.
No pun intended. You find all kinds of pains.
And we are sitting in his lab right now. Yeah. You want to explain this a little bit to us?
Yeah, so we built this surgical lab facility, as you can see right here. Hello, Spencer. Hello. And so in this lab, one of the things I kept running into was we would have to take our local surgeons across the nation to get them trained up on new products, right? Mm-hmm. And, you got to account for flights, you got to account for hotel stays. The expenses for my customer acquisition, it was extremely high. And I said, okay, why don't I just build one here right in Southeast Idaho and have something so unique that nobody else that's a distributor within, 1,000 miles of this place has it. Maybe 1,000 miles is a little bit too far, but maybe like 200, okay? 200, 80. There you go. I'm just joking. All right, so now we have something that our surgeons can be proud about right here in Pocatello. They can come and do sawbones labs. That means artificial bones. You want to grab one of those, Spencer? I'm going to go ahead and give my sales pitch right here, guys. All right, so right here we have what is a sawbones, which it replicates real bones. So it has a cortical shell and a cancellous inner, and we can actually do real surgeries on this artificial bone without having any kind of human biologics in this place, right? So we can do that. We can also do cadaver and soft tissue, rotator cuffs, ACLs, all on this stuff that you see right there. So it's a very unique place to where we can satisfy the learning needs of our surgeons, but at the same time, I'm going to create more available information for the community. We're going to get kids in here, have them suturing up models. If they want to be a doctor someday, why not come try it here? So it's going to be a place of learning and of networking for surgeons to give back to the community. Yeah. And so that's what we're trying to build.
I like it. I'm hearing some impressive stuff, but I keep hearing in my mind how much you're adding value. You're adding value to the surgeons for the surgical center. You're adding value to our community with the kids that are going to be coming in with that experience. And on top of that, you're helping to resurrect the old town Pocatello. Absolutely. Which, that's why we're doing this podcast. It's all about Pocatello, Chubbuck. We're going to rock and roll it. So cool. So I know we've talked quite a bit about your secrets to success, but do you have any other secret sauce that you would like to say out to the interwebs there of how to do business and how to be successful in what you do?
Well, this man just keeps giving me a mic, and as you can tell, I like to talk. Right? So I would say my biggest secret to success is being 100% me, right? Just whatever makes you 100% you, be that, right? And don't try to be like anybody else. And so I've been able to really put my stamp on this area by having a crazy personality. This is who I am, and being vocal and being loud. But sometimes I do have to dumb it down a little, or tone it down, not dumb it down, tone it down a little bit for other personalities. But just being 100% you and bring whatever that is to the table. And that's what makes, me wake up in the morning and my job never feel like a job. I'm having a good time every day. Every day I'm having a good time, right?
No, I love it. I was just going to say, I've tried that cheesy professional salesman approach in my past life, in my past professions, and I hate it. I hated how I woke up, hated how I felt. I just wasn't being true to myself. And I love that answer. Be true to yourself. You know, you have God-given gifts and talents. Use them, because you're going to be able to influence different types of people and help different types of people with those gifts. So, that being said, what is something you're not very good at?
Something I'm not very good at. I would say my worst skill is management. Believe it or not, right? I'm the type of person that, you know, that thinks he can do everything, you know, but now we're big enough to where we have to have other people, individuals on the team kind of step up to the plate. And I'm not a very good micromanager, but then I have expectations for you to get the job done too. So one of the things over the last year I've been really working on is being a better leader for my team. And that has been my pain point, right? And so I've been reading a lot of books. I've been downloading softwares, having my reps use certain kind of softwares that keep us on task, because I already know that I'm just gonna let them do whatever. But so I gotta kind of keep myself in check to become a better leader, and then my team then performs a lot better. And so that's something I've really been working on.
I agree. Yeah, because you know that's the typical entrepreneur right there, is that you've got to be good at juggling multiple balls as you're starting this thing out, because it's only based on you.
Absolutely.
You know, and then it's harder as you get bigger, like you said, to kind of help delegate out without trying to micromanage, but also empowering your people to do the right job and to be successful. I like it. Okay. Is there anything I should have asked that I didn't at this point?
I mean, you had a long list of questions on that computer, and you asked like not even half of them. So, I mean, if you want me to read them off, it's good. I'm joking. No, I would just say, you know, don't short shoot your dreams. You know, dream big, and dream bigger than you think you can accomplish. And one thing that's crazy about our minds is, as long as you think it, you can do it. And so that's one of the things I really believe in is, you know, I mean, if you think about the book, The Secret, right? Or Secret, yeah. So I don't even know. It's called The Secret. You know what I'm talking about, right? And so anything that you can think of, you can kind of bring to fruition. And if you start really digging deep on that, there's a lot of truth to it. And so I really have a lot of passion for positive thinking and being very optimistic. And when you think positive, you recruit positivity, and it starts to kind of flow and touch everybody else. And so that's kind of what I'm about, right? Get rid of the naysayers, get rid of the doubters, stick with the people that have the same mindset, and you can do some great things.
That's awesome.
Right, people?
That's right. That's one thing I've just come to, you know, be honest with you here. I've just come to realize in the last probably 8 months is how much mindset affects your output.
Absolutely.
And if you take every little failure, because there's going to be some, and there's going to be a lot of them when you're starting your business, and you keep thinking, freaking Dane, Spencer, you're an idiot, you know what? And you're doing that to yourself. That's not helping. You know, you got to be your own cheerleader a little bit, and you got to let the little things die down, and really think, is this going to really affect me in the long run?
Yeah.
Or am I really overanalyzing this small issue to make it into something huge?
Yeah.
And most of the time with me, it's something small that I'm turning into something bigger.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing, I think. And I like that, because you be yourself, keep away from the negative influences. It's huge. So, geez, I can't even remember your name. Dane.
Yeah, Dane.
Dane Simmons. Appreciate you being on the show today. Come visit him. He owns Par 5 Golf, and how many other companies you better name them off. Just name them off.
Name them off. And so, Simmons Surgical is probably the business that does the most revenue. In Pocatello, we do have Par 5 indoor golf. You know,
which is awesome.
We're actually open year round. even though it's only booked out 6 months out of the year. However, I think that's going to be changing with our new concept coming to Pocatello called Huddle, which is a co-working space that is very unique. And what makes it unique is that we're going to embed the culture that is lacking in Pocatello right now, that's kind of behind the scenes. We're going to bring it to the surface with, networking, not only in business, but we're going to network out hiking on the trails. We're going to network out mountain biking. We're going to network out skiing and snowboarding. It's going to be a whole dynamic stuff that makes us great. I mean, this place is what I can consider the average man's Sun Valley, right? If you know Sun Valley is where all the rich people go and they got all these different areas. But if you just take the geographic region we're in right now, we make Sun Valley look terrible, right? And it's something that we have a treasure here, and we're gonna start to really get the community excited about it. And I'll tell you one thing, so my beef is, so I go around the state of Utah, the state of Idaho, and I'll sit down ready to meet a surgeon. I'll have a nurse or somebody come up to me and they'll say, "Where are you from?" And I'll go, "Pocatello." And their response is, "I'm sorry," right?
I hear that a lot too.
And so here's the deal. We're gonna make everybody else feel sorry for not living here.
That's exactly right.
And that's what we're gonna do. So that's instead of moving to Boise, instead of moving back to California, I said, you know what? This is a great opportunity to do something bigger than myself in a city that actually needs some guidance, right? And I think that we as the millennials, our older generation looks down upon us, but we're not the generation that covered up hardwood floors, right? Because with carpet floors, we brought them back.
Beautiful.
And I tell you right now, we're about to bring the city back. And so hopefully this is a start to build some excitement. Hopefully this is a start to get some momentum. And I can tell you, I'm not going anywhere. And I know this man right here next to me is not going anywhere. So let's get this thing going. And so let's make everybody else feel sorry for themselves for not being here. Let's not feel sorry for us.
I love it. Well, thank you, Dane. You got an awesome establishment here. You own a few buildings here, you have some businesses. You're just a good addition to Pocatello.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
And the rest of you, we'll see you next time. And chat you later.
Congratulations on spending a couple minutes getting just a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Pocatello business community. If you are feeling the love, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are.